Welcome to Bahrain, here for the first race of the 2022 season. Welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 77 degrees Fahrenheit for the track. It is dry. There are the sectors and the start-finish line. A total of 15 turns today in Bahrain. And it could be a strategic race. 15 turns on the track, like I said earlier. So we got to look forward to drivers managing their rubber at some point here. And still with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. On pole is Charles Leclerc, followed by his teammate in Ferrari, Carlos Sainz. It is a Ferrari front row. Starting third, defending champion Max Verstappen, followed by Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Russell, Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, Yuki Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, Mick Schumacher, Alexander Albon, Valtteri Bottas, Sebastian Vettel, Lance Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi rounds out the grid. So let's go down to the grid, where I am joined by co-commentator NRS. NRS, Max Verstappen is coming into a new season off of his first championship. Is there a difference in preparation having a championship and not?
Well, so I expect that Verstappen will be carrying some momentum here from the last season. With that close finish over Mercedes, definitely gave the Red Bull team a lot of momentum coming into the first few races of this season. I also expect that Verstappen will maybe race a little bit more aggressive now that he's gotten that first championship out of the way. He doesn't need to be as cautious as he used to be.
Well said, as we will be going down to begin tonight's race here, once again at Bahrain. It'll be 5 red lights. And away we go. Charles Leclerc leads the race underway. Carlos Sainz already with a big start right behind him. As they dive down into turn 1, sort of a hairpin, not exactly, but it'll come through to the S's. Here comes Max Verstappen, already in second by Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz had an amazing restart as he's starting to pull away. Sergio Perez in fourth. It is Ferrari, Red Bull, and there are the two Mercedes battling it out. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Sainz now hopefully pulling a gap as they come down through that small turn, and this is the first DRS zone, I believe, after the start-finish line, of course. Takes a couple laps for the DRS to come into play. Red Bull has a better straight line speed than Ferrari. Coming through probably my favorite turn here at this track. And there it is, right there, coming into the penultimate turn. Camera view here from Max Verstappen gaining on Carlos Sainz. Going to look to his outside here, coming into the final turn leading down the straightaway. Sainz going to hold him off. Here's the start-finish line, and the race fully underway now. As you see the interval in lap number 2 on the left, it is Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, side by side going into turn 1. Verstappen going to have the inside advantage here. He's going to be able to clear them. And Max Verstappen now possibly going to have the advantage to pull away. Charles Leclerc in third for the final podium position, followed by Perez. It is now Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull, followed by Hamilton, Russell, Norris, Alonso, Ocon, and Magnussen for the points. Going through the order here, now we're showing Charles Leclerc. Maybe he can get a good lap in and get past his teammate. Leclerc actually the favorite to win the championship this season, as Ferrari believed to have made big improvements compared to last season. They have been struggling as of late, as the main two teams have been Red Bull and Mercedes. Carlos Sainz back in front of Max Verstappen for the race lead. A little bit of contact there from Verstappen on the back end. And he's going to look down the inside, not going to be able to get there. Here he comes once again to the inside. Verstappen. Through the turn. Going to give Sainz the room, as Sainz is going to have a better exit. And now they're going to show a little bit of a battle here from the POV of Sergio Perez. Leclerc was able to get around Verstappen actually, as it's Ferrari 1-2. Here comes Verstappen trying to get a run on Leclerc, not going to be able to get it. Carlos Sainz really looking to be the faster Ferrari here, as it's a little bit of impressive. For most strategists here, it'll be a one-stop race for all of these teams. Dries will be the best condition. Almost everybody on the mediums. At least I believe everybody is on the mediums. As you see, the wing flip up. Charles Leclerc has DRS on his teammate. Only the leader. You have to be within a second interval of the driver in front to be able to get DRS, and it helps with the arrow. And look at that beautiful shot there of the two Ferraris out front with the Red Bulls behind them. Single file, rows deep, as Verstappen went a little bit wide there on the corner exit. Verstappen and Leclerc here going to have DRS down the front stretch. Hopefully no one runs over the cameras there. Going to send it through turn 1, and Leclerc and Verstappen were side by side. Verstappen gets back into second. Going to try to chase down the other Ferrari. Sergio Perez still in fourth. Verstappen seems to be taking some of these corners wide, but it also shows, just like right there, he is able to send it deeper into these corners better than anybody from the looks of it. He's going to have DRS here on Carlos Sainz, aka the smooth operator. Verstappen gaining a little bit of time coming into these corners. Let's see if he can get up to him here on the straightaway with DRS. We're going to switch to the camera view here of the ring. He's gaining on him. Going to look to the inside now. Switch to the outside. Big move by Verstappen. And it's going to be a lockup from Carlos Sainz, and he's going to go around him. Brilliance there by Max Verstappen to try to switch very quickly to go into the turn. It causes Sainz to lock up a bit there, not knowing where he was going to go at first. And it also gave Verstappen DRS down that straight. And Max Verstappen with the straight line speed is just driving away with it. Already down to a 0.8 interval gap over Carlos Sainz. Ferrari definitely has the speed to possibly get back up to him, but the question is, do they have the tire wear? Did they use all of their tires? As Verstappen definitely goes wide there on exit. I think did Carlos use up his tires trying to pull a gap? I feel like that's a question. Because if you look at the gap here, Verstappen took the lead. He now has an over a second gap now that Carlos can't get DRS, but apparently he did not have a second gap before the DRS sign. Charles Leclerc may be playing the patient game of when the time is right to show his true speed. Never know though, it's first race, early season jitters. Gotta try to get it out of the way. Here's a POV from Perez back here in fourth. People call him Checo. Don't know what it means. But as NRS said, Max Verstappen, the defending champion, had a big battle over Mercedes, of course. Abu Dhabi last season, the season finale, where he went one-on-one with Lewis Hamilton. History awaited. Was Lewis going to get his 8th championship, record-breaking 8th championship, or was Max going to get his first? Of course, we know Max got his first. A little bit questionable based on how the safety car's rules worked, but otherwise he still got it. Verstappen now side by side with Carlos. Charles Leclerc, it's gonna be side by side, 2 rows deep. This is a signal. This is showmanship of Red Bull versus Ferrari right now. 2 battles for 2 different positions at the same time occurring, and look at that. Look at the side by sides. Verstappen still trying to get clear of him. Is he? Yes, he is. Max Verstappen back to the point. And Perez, Checo got around Leclerc. And it's pretty much just a pull-away game from here between the Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. All of them creating gap over Alpine and the rest of the field. But nonetheless, it's just been Red Bull versus Ferrari. Here comes Sainz back on the inside. Not going to be able to get it off the exit. Verstappen actually pulls a big gain, had a better corner. Maybe Carlos had to back out of it. And now Max Verstappen back to possibly trying to create a big gap. Lando Norris in the McLaren. Here in 8th. McLaren, it's hard to say how their season's going to be. Magnussen now in 10th. Obviously the Haas in a points-paying position right now. Alex Albon, former Red Bull driver, former AlphaTauri driver. Obviously now not where he wants to be in Williams. Daniel Ricciardo, historic, in 12th. As we're going down the field, Pierre Gasly in 14th. And, I don't know. And Sebastian Vettel is off the course. He is stopped, and it looks like he is not going to finish this race. Let's see what happened. Vettel just going down the front straightaway now. No signs of errors. Coming through the corner a little bit slow. Hits the... Maybe it looks like there was definitely a mechanical failure. Hard to know exactly what, but not the start Sebastian Vettel wants as a four-time champion. Verstappen still leads though. Still having a decently sized gap over Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc still in third. Actually back into third. He got around Sergio Perez. Carlos got a big gain there in the gap, but Max obviously showing some strength as he pulled a little bit. Carlos now back down to 0.3. DRS definitely working here. It's 0.2 now for Carlos. Max back to a 0.6. Huge speed with the Red Bull. Look at that. Just in a little bit, he got a 0.3 gap back to a 1 second gap. That's the speed of Max Verstappen. Coming down the straightaway. Verstappen leading through the corner. See, he has the speed, but the Ferrari, he just doesn't have enough to pull a huge amount. And it looks like Lando Norris in the McLaren had a problem. We don't exactly have the camera footage to show you what happened, but we will certainly get back to it. Verstappen now over a 1 second gap. Pit stops. The pit window probably going to come into play soon. You gotta wonder what the strategy is going to be from these drivers and these teams. They can't pit at the same time because then there will be a double stack. Obviously, only one pit stall per team. That's why they gotta have different strategies for both drivers, unless there's a big enough gap to get it in the works. Max able to have up to a 1.3 gap now, slowly closing down. Ten laps into this race, and it's been all Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz. Coming around the corner, let's see. Is anybody coming in? Verstappen, definitely not. From the looks of it, nobody yet. But Verstappen back up to a 1.4 gap. Now back to a 1.2. Verstappen's arguably best part of the track is here. Going down through the gears, going through the corners. Good exit there by Max, but even better exit there by Carlos, arguably. Obviously, Carlos lost some time, but he might get it back. There's Lewis Hamilton. Once again, we explained what happened with them two battling for the championship. You'd have to watch Drive to Survive or look it up on YouTube to see what the events were. Can't exactly show you on here, unfortunately. Coming to lap 12 for Max Verstappen. This is when the pit window officially is open. Valtteri Bottas and the Alfa Romeo, former teammate of Lewis Hamilton in Mercedes, obviously got dropped for George Russell. Iconic for the meme Valtteri. It's James. Back up to Max Verstappen here. Lando Norris, Sebastian Vettel, obviously not the start of the season these two wanted, as here in F1 it can be difficult to make up points. Verstappen back down the straightaway. Carlos not able to get DRS on him. Max Verstappen has been without errors today throughout the race, and it clearly shows. Let's see, does anybody pit this lap? Verstappen staying out. See? Nobody worthwhile pitting yet. Everybody else following the plane. Follow the leader. Trying to chase after Max Verstappen. And Leclerc trying to look and see if he can get a gap to the inside here of Carlos. A lot of battling right there for that 15th position. 15th and 14th position. Between Magnussen, Guan Yu Zhao, Kevin Magnussen, Alexander Albon, Nicholas Latifi, all those guys fighting it out for those positions. And non-points paying positions, may I add. So if anything, they're just costing themselves some time. Verstappen now. Let's see. The race leader, Max Verstappen, coming down the pit lane. Charles Leclerc staying out. Sergio Perez staying out. George Russell. It'll be the main three. Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, and Lewis Hamilton. Let's see the pit stop. Good pit stop there by the crew, getting him out in front of Carlos. Carlos Sainz getting held up a bit there, and Lewis Hamilton gets out in front of him. As we're going to cut back to see what exactly happened here for Lando Norris, it was his engine just blew. It was just his engine blew up. Two mechanical failures for two different teams, and it's Charles Leclerc with the race lead. Verstappen came out of the pit lane in 5th, meaning it was a great pit stop by that crew, and it was a good gap he had over the rest of the field. Yuki Tsunoda came out in front of Lewis Hamilton. And being the factory car for Red Bull, maybe he slows them down. Does he need to, though? Not really with Max Verstappen's speed. You gotta wonder, with Verstappen, with the gap Charles has over Max, can he get out of the pit lane in front of Max? Because he has over a second gap over Checo, and a 2-second gap over George. Here's the POV of Sergio Perez. Now back to Leclerc, and Charles Leclerc coming to come down pit lane, followed by Checo and George Russell. See the pit stop here. And he's going to be switching to the hard tires. Let's see. Can he come out in front? Great pit stops by him and the other Red Bull team once again. Ocon came in. Here comes Verstappen. As you see in front of him, there's the Red Bull and there's the Ferrari in front. Charles Leclerc going to beat him out. And oh my god, barely getting in front of his teammate. That could have ended very poorly, but Charles Leclerc, with the pit strategy, finds himself now in the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, followed by Max Verstappen. Max quickly gaining on him, as obviously Charles has to warm up those tires. And Verstappen with possibly his first error, he slides on the curb, entering the corner, losing time to Charles. Obviously, not losing any positions, but that could have also been a poor ending there. As what if the car just kept sliding into the wall for Max Verstappen? Could have been the end of his race if that happened. But now look at the gap that Charles Leclerc has. You have to wonder, with Charles's tires warmed up, will he be able to pull a gap on Verstappen? Probably not, with how fast Max has been. Charles Leclerc going through the corners. You can look in his mirrors, see Max Verstappen peeking a little bit of a gap in those mirrors. You see him right behind him, actually. Ferrari, though, they have been consistently in the top positions this race, whether it be Charles right now or his teammate Carlos. Max Verstappen gets through that corner really good that time. And it looks like Max slowly gaining on him, slowly. Ever so slowly. Obviously able to send it deeper into the corners than anybody, as I've said earlier. So it is still Ferrari, Red Bull. As you see into the background, Carlos Sainz has lost positions massively with how that pit stop went, as he is now behind both Mercedes cars. Ferrari pit crew just, I don't know, maybe miscommunication, something might have happened there. Look how deep Max is able to send it through that corner. Will this be the season of Leclerc versus Verstappen? Based on how this is going, I can tell you I'm already excited based on how this season's going to go. Big corner, a beautiful corner there by Charles. As even Max has the DRS, he pulled a bit of a gap on him. Max now trying to gain on him throughout this corner here. Looks like he might have even ran a better corner than Charles did there. Look how much he gained on him. You know right now, if Charles makes a single mistake, Max is going to capitalize on it. And if he gets by him, right now actually he might get by him, going down to the diving to the inside of the corner. Max Verstappen clears Charles Leclerc. No, he doesn't. He looked like he was going to. Now he does. Leclerc looking back to the outside. Switch back on him. Gonna stay in front of Max Verstappen. There he goes. As Charles blocking down the straightaway, not letting Max get to his side. And Charles goes wide. Horrible corner. Big mistake there by Charles, as I was saying. Verstappen has the lead, and he is flying away. I don't know what happened. Maybe Charles was getting too aggressive. Was just blocking him down the straightaway. But here comes Charles back to the outside. Big run. And he gets the lead back. Or does he? Max still there on the inside. Side-by-side battle. Almost running Max Verstappen off the track. Max now back on the inside. Look at now Sergio Perez in the back in third place. Possibly going to try to take advantage of this battle. Max now to the outside. What a battle between these two. Both of these men showing they want, and there's contact. Tire to wing contact there. Is still side by side down the front straightaway. Max has the DRS, trying to get behind him. Now back to the outside. Gonna try to swing it around, not gonna be able to do it. Now to the inside, maybe Max forcing him off the track a little bit there. Here comes Perez, trying to make it 3 wide. He does. And he forces, oh, there's contact once again. He forced Charles to go wide, and Charles made contact with Verstappen. Could easy to say, maybe he didn't mean to do that. Lewis Hamilton now, point of view, watching the battle. Charles Leclerc out-muscling Verstappen. Verstappen now looking to the outside. Not there. Switching to the inside. He is there. And there's contact. They both slide wide. And Sergio Perez takes the race lead and takes advantage. Max just tried to send it in there. And unfortunately, it costed both him and Charles the possible lead. Let's take a look at that from the POV of Sergio Perez. Down in the corner, Max on the inside just sends it, and Charles went wide. Max did also. What a move by Sergio, just being patient to take the lead. It is a Red Bull 1-2. Max looking to be the faster car right now, though. But he's going to try to be a little bit conservative, as it is his teammate. He doesn't want to cost his teammate anything, as it could be valuable points for this Red Bull team later on with how quick these Ferraris are. Diving through the corners, and it's just Red Bull, Ferrari. We're on lap 20 out of 29 here. Max obviously trying to be careful, because it was that same corner where he sent it wide with Charles right there, that he clipped the curb and just went sliding through that corner. Sergio Perez still leading now over Max Verstappen. As you see, there's the gap from Charles Leclerc. He's got to try to gain back down on it, because maybe one of these two Red Bull cars is going to become the shield for the leader. Max with a big gain on Sergio now. Not gonna dive bomb it, because again, not wanting to risk anything. Max, see, braking early. He doesn't want to risk locking up the brakes and slamming into the back of his teammate or anything. This could be an outstanding performance between this Red Bull team. I mean, it already is a big performance from this team. Now, with a helicopter camera through the corner they go. This is beautiful. You see Perez pulling away now on the straightaway, or is Max dropping back? Max Verstappen, one of the most aggressive drivers in the Class F1. Through the corners, Max gaining on him through his corners. He sends it deep down the straightaway. Max just staying behind him, being patient, looking at the outside a bit, and Sergio locks up, and he's just going to move out of the way for Max Verstappen. Sergio locked it up and possibly team orders there, and here comes Charles Leclerc, looking to take second off the advantage of the lockup. Will he? Looking to clear him. Side by side now. And he actually took the lead from it. 3 wide once again. Max trying to fight back here. Max with the lead once again, I believe. Or is it still side by side? And here come the Mercedes. The Mercedes backing in. It's 3 wide. There's contact with the Max in one of the Mercedes. That might have been Lewis. But that doesn't change the fact that Charles Leclerc just went from 3rd to 1st in a matter of a mistake from Sergio Perez and DRS. The Leclerc versus Verstappen show is back on. Ferrari, a name synonymous with F1. Of course, you got Michael Schumacher, the 7-time champion. His son Mick Schumacher in the Haas. A lot of F1 fans think it would be beautiful if they get to see Mick Schumacher in a Ferrari at some point, like racing for a Ferrari. Like, can you imagine that? Sebastian Vettel. That's the thing between Red Bull and Ferrari. Sebastian Vettel won 4 championships, I believe, back to back for Red Bull, and just all of a sudden, poof, switched to Ferrari, and nothing was the same. He could not reignite that magic he had with Red Bull on Ferrari. Just couldn't. Of course, Ferrari just a name, the name value known alone. Enzo Ferrari, Le Mans, the 24 hours, Formula 1. It's you get what I'm saying. The cars, the supercars. Haas, technically an American team here in F1, but is apparently mostly represented with Russian people. Not a very fast team here in F1. Obviously no American drivers in the field, but I mean, imagine if you had another America versus Ferrari, but in F1. And Max now trying to get through to him. Not able to get there yet. Hopefully you'll join us next week for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah. After that, we'll be going to Australia, Melbourne, for the Australian Grand Prix. And what's after that? I think it is the Italian Grand Prix at Imola, and okay, the Enzo Ferrari track. But Max Verstappen sending it through the corner, a little bit of contact. Side by side, the battle still continuing. After Italy, I might be wrong with how the schedule works, but we are going to USA. Max Verstappen down the outside. Side by side again, the battle, contact a little bit. Leclerc trying to shove him off the track, almost caught out more contact. A huge battle between these two. Sergio Perez back into the battle. Lewis Hamilton, I believe, back into it. Here comes the Red Bull of Max, looking to the inside. Look at the rubber flying to the outside. Not able to get there. Here comes Perez, diving in on his teammate. Contact between the two. Laps coming down as here comes Sergio to the outside and to the inside of Verstappen. Max with a better exit, and he got it to the dust a little bit there. Sergio Perez now in second. Verstappen has fallen to third, and with these laps, you got to almost count him out. Can Sergio Perez now get by Charles Leclerc? As I was saying, 2 U.S. Grand Prix this year, of course, the Miami Grand Prix, and of course, later in the year, Texas at Circuit of the Americas. Max Verstappen able to get back up on his teammate there as you saw his rear tire hit the curb. Good thing that there was no spinach or getting sideways or anything. If Max wants a chance to get it, Charles, he's gonna have to get past his teammate here, because his teammate literally holding him up now. Max right behind him. To the inside, maybe some team orders here if Max can get next to him, which he did. And oh ho ho! Sergio looked like maybe pinched him down in the corner, but Max just full throttled it on the exit, not caring if he made contact or not. He did not. As I said, laps coming down to an end here. Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari leading, Max Verstappen second, and for this second half of the race, it has been Charles Leclerc versus Max Verstappen. And it's been a beautiful battle. Who will come out on top? Let's find out, shall we? Charles Leclerc has probably been the hardest person for Max Verstappen to pass. Max was able to get by his teammate. Max was able to get by Charles's teammate. He hasn't really been having to get by anyone else. It looks like Charles may be forming a bit of a gap here. Max has the DRS on the straightaways. Charles through the corners, down the little stretch here. Gonna come down into the final turn, leading the final stretch. Max Verstappen, obviously in his mirrors, gonna have to pay attention to that. Actually, do you pay attention to Max in the mirrors, or do you just talk to your radio chief and focus on these laps, these critical final 3 laps? Because Max is right on his gearbox right now, right there. Charles with the better exit. But listen, we thought 2 laps ago Max Verstappen might have been out of it as he fell to third. But look at the speed here on the defending champion. Speed is what you need. And Max Verstappen tonight is speed. Look at him sending it deeper, almost clipping the rear end of Charles Leclerc. Sending it in, he got on the curb a little bit, nothing to hurt him though. Charles with a better exit once again. Ferrari is better on the corners, Red Bull's better on the straights. coming to a critical turn there. And oh my gosh, look at this send by Verstappen. Look how much time he gained entering that corner, coming down the straightaway. Is he going to dive bomb it? No, he will not. He will follow Charles through the corner. Clips the curb there. Going to cost him some time. Coming to 2 laps to go for Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Verstappen again right up on his gearbox throughout that corner. Charles again pulling away, just like last lap. If either of these two make a mistake or possibly spin each other out, you know, Sergio Perez will not be afraid to take advantage of it, as we saw earlier on. Charles Leclerc leading as they are both pulling a gap over third place. Max a little bit wide on an awkward corner there. We've talked about it. That's been the story with Verstappen. We talked about it a lap ago. His speed, his ability to send it into a corner farther than anyone else and be able to use it all race. Will he be able to use it to pass Charles Leclerc when it matters? As once again, he gains on him through that corner. That's been Max Verstappen's corner. And he's going to try to look to the inside. Goes to the outside of Charles Leclerc. Going to possibly cause him to lock up Willie. Max on the outside. Side by side now. And Charles stays in front. But here comes Verstappen with the DRS. Possibly going to use the DRS. Yes, he does. Forces himself to the inside of Leclerc at the line. It's the final lap. And it is these two. Max Verstappen clears. Charles Leclerc going to go wide a little bit on exit. Staying in front of him. Leclerc going to the inside. Is he? No, he is not. Staying right behind him. Charles Leclerc to the inside. Through the corner. And it's close. He forces him tight. Leclerc's still there. Max finally clears him. Can he pull away? Max got by him when he needed to. Now can he stay in front of him? Through the corner that Charles has been in, along with the straightaway that he has been the quickest on, actually. Here he comes. Charles looking to the inside. Max is going to block it. Max is going to block the inside. Here he comes anyway. He's going to send it on him. And Max gets the better exit. Here they come into Max's corner. Max into the corner. No, Charles has the better corner. Charles Leclerc has the better corner. Coming into the final turn, they are side by side. Max Verstappen forcing him tight. Now goes wide. Charles has to slow down to make the corner. Max gets in front of him. Max Verstappen holds off Charles Leclerc, and he will win this race here at Bahrain. What a win by Max Verstappen. And here, Max Verstappen, obviously the driver of the day. What a race here in Bahrain. The Red Bull team obviously ready and waiting, celebrating through a obvious deserved win, as it is a double car podium for them. Max Verstappen, the race winner. It was a real team victory between these two. The pit strategy, obviously Max Verstappen's speed had something to do with it. The fastest car throughout the field. What more could you ask for a driver? Red Bull with an outstanding effort. Charles Leclerc obviously has to be disappointed, but just look at the facts here in this race. Max Verstappen outraced Charles Leclerc to get the win. all high cheers and high praise for these drivers here on the podium. Well, we will see you next week in Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.